I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Village Board for February 9th, 2021. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry for the killer attack dogs in the background. Village Clerk, would you please call the roll?
President DeSimone,
Here.
Rosa Carmona,
Here.
Trustee Franz,
Here.
Trustee Fry,
Here.
Trustee Lomax,
Here.
Trustee Penicola,
Here.
Trustee Perez.
He is absent, Nancy.
Okay, so that's 6.
At this time, we'll move to public comment. Does anyone wish to address the board? If so, please approach the podium and state your name. Do we have anybody?
We do not have public comment this evening.
Not even online?
No.
This will conclude our public comment. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the January 26, 2021 Village Board meeting?
You have a motion.
Is there a second?
You have a second?
Please call the, are any modifications to the minutes? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona,
Yes.
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
Trustee Fry,
Yes.
Trustee Lomax,
Yes.
Trustee Penicola.
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries and minutes are approved. The next item of business is to approve the warrant in the amount of $975,729.26. Is there a motion to approve the warrant?
You have a motion.
Is there a second on the motion?
You have a second?
Is there any discussion on the warrant? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona,
Yes.
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
Trustee Fry,
Yes.
Trustee Lomax, Trustee Lomax,
You're muted, Matt.
Yes.
and Trustee Penicola.
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries and the warrant is approved. There are no items on the consent agenda tonight. Under administration, there's a resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement for the Village of Bensonville, continued participation in the O'Hare Noise Compatibility Commission, which is the ONCC, through December 31st, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second on the motion?
You have a second?
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
Thank you. So the O'Hare Noise Compatibility Commission is the commission that all the communities that surround O'Hare that choose to participate in discussing topics of noise participate in. The Village of Bensonville has been a member of this organization for a number of years. The IGA has expired and yours truly has written this new IGA. I'm the co-chair of the governance committee for ONCC. This extends the relationship between the city of Chicago, the member municipalities, including Bensonville, for another 4 years. The only substantial change is we address the attendance policy better. There were several members who have not attended meetings in a long time, so we make attendance more important. There is no cost to this. The city of Chicago picks up the tab for all the staff work that is created.
Any questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona,
Yes.
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
Trustee Fry,
Yes.
Trustee Lomax,
Yes.
Trustee Penicola.
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries and the resolution is approved. Number 2 is a resolution authorizing waiving competitive bidding and executing a retail sales agreement with AVI Systems of Bensonville, Illinois, in the amount of $23,787 for Village Boardroom production switching upgrade. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
You have a second?
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
I'm going to hand the technical nature of this off to Anthony Sumner from our multimedia department, and I'll follow up with comments at the end.
This is part of a 3-year capital project improvement to the boardroom and the studio downstairs that is covered by the PEG pass-through fees, so it's completely covered in cost. This particular action we're having done this time is to upgrade the boardroom so that the laptops are considered a camera source for any situations that we have, like we have this year, where we need to have Zoom members be present in the boardroom. Everything will feed downstairs and not only go to YouTube Live, but will also go out to broadcast. on Comcast and AT&T, which we don't have that accessibility right now. In the future, when we have normal meetings in here, it'll also make it so that we can immediately go live in the meetings on AT&T and Comcast in the future. So it kind of covers both situations, no matter where we're at pandemic wise. And that's pretty much it.
So at the beginning of this, I just want to commend Anthony. At the beginning of the pandemic, I challenged staff to come up with what I was calling permanent innovations. This is going to be one of those permanent innovations. Prior to the pandemic, we had about a 12-hour delay before we posted the meetings to the web. Now we'll be able to live broadcast these meetings, so it increases transparency and accessibility for people who may not be able to attend in person.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. Under Community and Economic Development is a resolution approving the extension of a letter of intent for the contemplation of the sale of 101 West Main Street in the village parking lot on the east side of North Center Street, north of 13 West Main Street, Bensonville, Illinois. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
There being a motion and a second, any discussion?
Real quick, Julie, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun on you. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room. All right, Mr. Viger.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the board, this is the transformative project at the northwest corner of Main and Center, 101 West Main. We have a letter of intent that we extended through the first of this month of February. Due to scheduling of the board meeting, we're looking to extend it this evening to the 15th of May, or excuse me, the 15th of March, excuse me. It's a complex deal. Of course, there's the village sites, and then the developer, as you know, is looking to acquire privately owned sites to assemble into this larger project. So we recommend this letter of intent be extended through the 15th of March.
And we're extending it because the house is now a part of the play, right?
Yes, I talked with the developer today. 18 North Center, the old Fairchild building is in play, and then the single-family home at 26 North Center is in play as well.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and resolution is approved. Number 2 is a resolution for a contract extension with LAR Lawn and Ground for the tall grass program for the village of Bensonville. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
There being a motion and a second, any discussion, Scott?
Mr. Viger.
Just very briefly, LAR is a small business located here in Bensonville. They later back in 2019 for our so-called tall grass program. They did get their bid in 2019. The contract had a provision for 2 one-year extensions, and this is the second of those 2 extensions. LAR has agreed to maintain the 2019 pricing for all this work. So we recommend the contract be extended for the final year.
Any questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries and the resolution is approved. Number 3 is an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of a village-owned parcel of real property in the Bensonville Fire Protection District number 2. I'm sorry, to the Bensonville Fire Protection District number 2, and approving a plat of subdivision. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
I can take this one. So this is a cleanup from when the fire district or fire department split away from the village and became a fire district. In that IGA, we were supposed to convey the North Firehouse to them. For whatever reason, that did not happen. So we enlisted the assistance of Montana and Welch to come up with a plat of subdivision where they will maintain, will receive their property, and we will carve out, we still have some utility work on that site, and we will retain the utilities on the site.
Any questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola,
Yes.
that's 5.
Motion carries and the ordinance is passed.
Thanks.
Under finances, a resolution authorizing the agreement with GW and Associates PC for audit services for the 2020 fiscal year. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Being a motion and a second, Julie, I believe we have you for discussion.
Yes, this is the contract for our 2020 audit with GW and Associates. We've had them for 3 years. We wanted to keep them one more year for some stability because I was new last year and made some changes to reserves and things. So we want to keep them this year so we can follow through on some of the projects that we put through. And their increase was only a 2.5% or a low increase, as is normal with the contract like this.
Any questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Carmona,
Yes.
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
Trustee Fry,
Yes.
Trustee Lomax,
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola,
Yes.
that's 5.
The motion carries and the resolution is approved.
Thank
We
you.
have no report under the Police Department. Public Works is a resolution authorizing an engineering service agreement with James J. Bennis and Associates Incorporated for the 2021 CDBG Annual Residential Streetlight Project in the not to exceed amount of $49,423. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Being a motion and a second, Joe, you have discussion for us.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everybody. These first two items actually are related, so I'm going to try to combine the two of them, maybe save a little bit of time for everybody tonight. If you'll recall, back in 2011, the village board conducted a citizen survey. Part of the survey asked questions about streetlights, and it was an overwhelming desire of the community to kind of light up our streets. They thought that they were too dark. So that started our residential streetlight program. So our 2021 residential streetlight program will be the 6th one since that survey took place, installing streetlights on our residential streets. For the last 4 years, we've been able to capitalize on some community development block grant money to kind of help offset some of those costs. We were again able to do that again this year. We have a $400,000 grant through DuPage County's program. The 2021 project is going to be the largest project that we've done so far. It's going to have about 100 new streetlights installed in the Brentwood subdivision. So we're looking forward to kind of lighten up that section of town. The two items before you tonight are the construction engineering award and the actual construction award for installing those lights. The first one, JJ Bennis, was asked to provide a proposal to perform construction engineering services on the project, similar to what they've done in the past. Their proposal includes site inspection, CDBG reporting, documentation of quantities, preparation of pay estimates, layout verification, things that we typically see our resident engineers do. They submitted a proposal in the amount of $49,423. This actually equates to about 6% of the actual bid cost for the project. So we're recommending approval of that contract. And then the second item before you tonight is the actual construction award. So Utility Dynamics submitted the lowest responsible bid. There was actually 2 bidders on this project in the amount of $839,158. They were almost $255,000 below the next low bidder. Utility Dynamics has done this project for us the last 3 years, and we've been very happy with them. So again, it's our recommendation to approve both these contracts tonight.
Any questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona,
Yes.
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
Trustee Fry,
Yes.
Trustee Lomax,
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola,
Yes.
that's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. Number 2 is a resolution authorizing execution of a construction contract with Utility Dynamics Incorporated out of Oswego, Illinois for the 2021 CDBG Annual Residential Streetlight Project in the not to exceed amount of $839,158. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Joe touched base on it earlier. Joe, real quick, one quick question. How do we pick streetlight project? Can you explain how we pick what areas need streetlights? Because I know I get a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, sure. We try to get all around town. We started kind of in the central portion of town and kind of started to spread out a little bit in the town. It's, basically we have done most of the middle section of the village at this point. Because we were able to secure kind of a full grant, a 2-year grant with Community Development Block Grant, we decided to try to tackle that south end. I have a feeling that there's going to be one more project in the near future on the south end of town, and then we'll probably head up north and hit the north end. So our goal again was to get the entire village lit up.
Do we have any other questions from the board?
Yes.
Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, okay. Joe, I was wondering, because the group came in $255,000 shy of the next lowest bidder, was everything equal as far as that? Are we talking apples to apples, or are we talking apples and oranges as far as the project is concerned?
Yeah, so over the past couple of years, we've actually had concerns and issues with actually getting multiple bidders to bid on this project. Utility Dynamics was our lone bidder last year. We actually had to throw out bids and rebid it in order to get 2 bidders on the second round. Because we're using federal funds, HUD funds through the Community Development Block Grant, they did require us to have multiple bidders. I just think that we're seeing Utility Dynamics has kind of worked on this for us for the last few years. They've really kind of dialed it in, and I think they put forth a good, honest number for us. The other contractor that submitted the bid we weren't familiar with, and it's probably just a matter of a new contractor bidding on something they weren't sure about. But I think that the cost per light is staying pretty consistent with the Utility Dynamic bids from year to year to year.
I just had a quick question, Joe, too, for you. When do you expect the project to start for the area?
Usually these projects will depend on the county's paperwork. So we're ready to go. The contractor's ready to go. We need to get through some paperwork with the county. We're hoping to start it probably in the middle of April is what we're shooting for.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. Number 3 is a resolution authorizing the execution of an engineering services agreement with Baxter and Woodman Consulting Engineers for the 2021 pre-treatment program assistance in the not to exceed amount of $110,000. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
There being a motion and a second, Joe?
Yeah, so due to the pure size of our industrial component of the village is required by the US EPA to implement and maintain an industrial pretreatment program. What the program does basically is it monitors the wastewater that comes from these industries to make sure that they are discharging a waste that meets our local limits that we can actually treat and discharge properly into the streams. So Baxter and Woodman's been assisting us on this program since 2003. Over the past few years, we've kind of been doing a pay-as-you-go contract with them. This year, we really preferred to formalize it a little bit better and have a not-to-exceed contract with them. So we asked them to put together a scope that we worked through them. They listed out 10 tasks that are in your packet that describe all the different things that they do as part of that pretreatment program. The total cost actually of the pretreatment program itself is about $95,000 of that $110,000 contract in front of you. There's another $15,000 that we had them put in there for some assistance that could happen this year based on our permit renewal. So our permit is due for renewal this year. Historically, though, the EPA has been very late with their submittals of the permit renewals. So we don't know if we're going to need to have their assistance reviewing that new permit in 2021, but we wanted to be prepared for that just in case. So there's $15,000 in there for that review and some other special projects that could pop up. So this does fit within our budget. We do budget about $200,000 for the pretreatment program engineering services each year. So this is well below that. And I think this contract will serve us better in monitoring their costs and scope. So it's our recommendation to approve.
Any questions from the board?
Hey, Joe, about how long is that, would this be now that you're doing it as a longer term contract? What time frame do we have on this particular program now that they've been doing it for us for such a while? How long?
Yeah, Sure. So this contract, actually, we laid it out so that it started February 1st. They will start to bill us as of February 1st as part of this contract, and it'll go through December 31st. So this will just be like an annual renewal. If we decide to continue to go with Baxter and Woodman, we're having some internal discussions, possibly bringing it in-house at this point. But for now, Baxter has done a great job for us in the past, and it's just our recommendation to continue with them at least in the short term, and maybe it will be a long-term contract down the road.
And is that what actually drives the cost down, is the time frame?
It's not necessarily the time frame. I just think that, again, putting together a strict and formal scope of work in there allows us to really monitor their expenses a little bit better. So they're doing the same thing they've been doing for us for years.
Okay.
Their annual cost for the pretreatment.
Uh-oh.
Looks like we may have had some connectivity issues with Joe.
Heard Joe so quiet. Are we okay? I know, Mac, I know he didn't finish, but should we move on?
No, move on. I'm fine with that. That's
All
fine.
right. Joe, we lost you, so we're just going to move on. Mac says he's okay. If he's any questions, we'll reach out. Any other questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and resolution is approved. Thanks, Joe. Go enjoy your birthday. Under recreation is a resolution to approve contract amendment number 3 to the agreement between the Village of Bensenville and White Construction Services Incorporated. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
We have a second.
Being a motion and a second, Sean, welcome for some discussion.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing today?
Good, sir.
This project was from 2017. It was the repair of the east rink floor at the edge on Jefferson Street. The following year, we noticed some cracking. Long story short, we've tried some minor fixes with White Construction. And currently the performance bond is set to expire this May. And our goal is to complete the repair this summer. So we're just going to extend the performance bond through December 31st, 2021.
So there's some cracking issues as well as some settlement issues. We believe we have a product that can help resolve that for us. We're working through some engineers and some product design guys to confirm that our proposed repair will be good. I'm pretty confident White will correct this for us.
Any questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. Moving on to presidential remarks, I would like to read a proclamation honoring the life of Clifford A. Sell. Whereas Clifford Sell was a gracious individual that has been a hardworking advocate and resident of Bensenville for over 55 years. And whereas Clifford Sell was appointed the village treasurer in 1969 and spent a 30-year span serving under 6 village presidents. And whereas Clifford Sell served as a leader for the Kiwanis Club of Bensenville for numerous years. And whereas Clifford Sell was appointed to serve on many boards throughout his years in the community. And whereas Clifford Sell was a man devoted to his family, his friends, his neighbors, and Faith Community Church. Now, therefore, I, Frank D. Simone, do humbly proclaim the passing of Clifford A. Sell Sr., which leaves us all with a deep feeling of sorrow for the loss of such an honored and respected citizen of the village of Bensenville, dated this 9th day of February, 2021. Is there a motion to support this proclamation?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second on the motion?
You have a second.
There being a motion and a second, any discussion?
We're going to remit a copy of this proclamation back to Mr. Sell's family.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries, and that concludes presidential remarks. Village managers report.
Yes, I have two housekeeping items. One is just more on the administrative, what the schedule of Village of Bensenville looks like going forward. I had briefly discussed this with some of you before. We are targeting a return to in-person board meetings in June. We hope the vaccine is a wide enough spread that everyone who wants the vaccine will have received it by that point. We're going to continue to monitor that, obviously looking into, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone what the village will be doing in June. So it could be a moving target. We just ask everyone to remain flexible and nimble. And then on the special event side, we're targeting a July 4th return to special events, beginning with our 4th of July activities. We have canceled the parade this year just because you have to book those guys up pretty early. So it'll be kind of a scaled down 4th of July celebration, but we do intend to have fireworks at Redmond, which is what everyone looks forward to. So if you guys have any input on that, give me a call. I'm happy to discuss it with you. And then just as the temperatures are really cold, just want to review our warming center policies. Due to the pandemic, this is another one of those permanent innovations. We've tiered the level of service that we have for cold events. So tier 1, a level 1 service would be right now where we have low demand for warming centers. Basically, you call the emergency management line and we'll find you somewhere to go on a case-by-case basis. Level 2 would be something if we had a power outage with extreme cold, then we would stand up warming centers more traditionally and have mass warming centers. This is one of those things we just want to keep people as safe as possible right now. So by tiering them, we hope that we can address the people that need it on a case-by-case basis and stay away from that level 2, which could put people at risk. So if you want to call the Emergency Management Agency for a warming center update, that number is 630-350-3461. And if there's no other questions, that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Do you have a village attorney's report?
I have no report, Mr. President.
Is there any unfinished business to come before the board tonight? Is there any new business to come before the board tonight? Is there a need for executive session?
There is not, Mr. President.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
You have a second?
Please call the roll.
Trustee Carmona,
Yes.
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
Trustee Fry,
Yes.
Trustee Lomax,
Yes.
Trustee Penicola.
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody stay warm.